Hey there, I'm Mark.
I'm Evan.
And on this week's podcast episode, we talk about insecurities and why we want the things we want.
Mark wants to raise chickens in his backyard illegally.
And Evan talks a lot about Iraq. A lot.
Yep.
You're the one who surprised me with, hey, Mark, we're recording a podcast
I
today.
feel like we're cheating our audio. I think like the quality is just, yeah. Anyway.
I don't think so.
All right.
I pour a lot of time and effort into
Disrespect. It's a lot of disrespect. I apologize.
You don't
audio
listen to it, so you don't even know some of the behind the scenes stuff that I share. But I figured that your world is an open book, so you don't.
What do you mean? You add commentary on top of it?
No, but like after we're done recording, I tag at the end of the podcast are like, well, we're done recording, and then we keep talking. I release some of that stuff.
Oh, okay. Whatever.
As long
I
as it's
trust
not too
your
personal.
judgment. I trust
Yeah.
you. Guy Kawasaki told me that, and it was the first when I was doing my entrepreneur trading cards.
Mm-hmm.
What are you looking at the camera? Are you just making sure we got it set up? What's happening?
I'm just looking
Raising
at
your
the audience.
eyebrows?
I'm just like, hey,
Look at the
audience,
audience.
how's it going?
So when I was first doing the trading cards, I don't know if you remember, but
I remember everything.
okay, great. So Steve Jobs was the first card that I wanted, right?
Mhm.
And so Guy Kawasaki picked Steve Jobs. So those two were my first. And if I got that, then I have the whole line.
Mm-hmm.
So I reached out to Guy, and I knew him a little bit, but not really. And I said, here's what I'm trying to do. Do you have a quote? Like, can I use you?
Mm-hmm.
And then there was a bunch of back and forth, and then he just said, I trust you. And I don't know if he actually did trust me or it was just like he didn't care about it, but I internalized it as like, oh, that's really cool. I like that.
But wow.
Yeah.
I
Thanks,
mean,
Guy.
so hold
I
on.
mean, I was
if we go
putting
back
his
to the
face
if we
and
go
a
back to
quote.
the trading cards, I mean, was what, like 2010?
I don't know.
It's a long
I feel it
2011.
was older.
I don't know if I have any here. I think they're all at home.
Wow, disrespect.
But they say I have them at home on my bedside table. How is that disrespect?
Because you got all this tchotchke all over the place here. You don't have my hero cards.
They're on my nightstand. They're on my bedside table. I wake up every morning and see them, and go to bed every night and see them, and that's disrespect.
Doesn't even know what year they are.
You tell me what year they are.
You said you remember everything.
Yeah, and I have to go based off of the copyrights at the bottom. 2010, 2011, something
Anyway,
like
whatever.
that. Yeah. How you doing, Evan?
What were you gonna say about that?
What was I going to say about what?
The cards. That's it. Just what year they were?
I don't know. I was just commenting on the year,
Wow,
providing some
Jesus.
context. What I find most interesting actually is the fact that you can even start a conversation with when I was, you know what Guy Kawasaki told me once.
Okay.
That's cool.
Oh, okay.
I don't know if you realize how cool that is. You may
Oh.
have moved past,
Oh,
I was
anyway.
speaking to this guy, and you know what he told me once?
Yeah, so he told me.
Because I'm not a
I
name
trust you.
dropper typically,
Oh,
but it's
yeah, well, I'm
and
not
I know
trying
you're
to be a
not
name
that much
dropper,
either,
yeah.
but it's cool.
So, I.
You have hair all over your shirt.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Come on. Do you care about our
Dude,
dude,
dude.
video
No, here's what
audience
happened.
at all?
Let me finish my Guy Kawasaki story, and then I'll finish this one. So,
I'm just for the audio. I'm just going ahead and brushing.
Russian, if you hear really loud, like, he's gonna bring it close, just to.
There we go.
some
That's
extra
me.
care.
That's me brushing the hair
So,
off
so
of
Guy
the bald man's shirt.
Kawasaki told me, it's not my hair. He told me he trusts me, and I like that, and I've used it ever since. That's 10 years ago. I've used it ever since, and so if you keep sharing some of this, like I trust people, and by default, and then they have to show me, like if you said I'm going to release bonus of what we keep talking about afterwards,
Mm-hmm.
okay, I don't need to listen to it.
Well,
I trust you.
I think I'm actually much more private than you are. So, if there's anything that would make me question it or be nervous, I would never include it because
Yeah, I trust your judgment.
you're like, oh, whatever, I don't care.
Well, until you give me a reason not to, right?
Right.
I'll trust people by default, and then they have to give me a reason not to trust them.
You know what's interesting? I'm split on this. I want to say that I'm the same way, but I'm actually a very distrusting person. But at the same time, I'm very trusting. So people are surprised that when they start to work in my company, they immediately get access to all documents, all paperwork, all budgeting. They get a key for the front door. They get all security codes. Like day one, like just here you go. You have everything. And I've had other team members be like, you shouldn't really share everything with the team. I'm like, what are you talking about? They're like, oh, they might take the information and then try and leverage it against you and then blackmail you for it. I'm like, what?
Wow.
Like, one, I don't think that way. And so I want to say that I'm extremely trusting as well, but at the same time, for anyone who's not on the inside, like if you're inside, I trust you explicitly, and if you're not inside, then I don't trust you at all. Not at all.
Wow.
I'm super black and white about it.
Well, that's positive
Is
steps
that weird?
at least.
Is it?
I don't know. I think it's actually. I think I'm more weird. I think that's more normal. I think people are not trusting in general.
Yeah.
I think people are good.
Yeah.
I don't think there's actually
think
that many people who want to
people
screw
are
you over.
good. I don't think anyone intentionally wants to screw anyone over. I think people are.
Well, that's
I
not
think
true. People definitely intentionally want to screw other people over.
No, I think they're self-centered, and so they put themselves above others, and the side effect of that is people getting screwed over, but I don't think anyone goes out of their way to intentionally, maliciously screw people over.
What are you talking about? Of course people do that.
I believe that people are good, and most of the things that they do to hurt others are, it's not that they're not intentional, it's that they're putting themselves first. But it's not like I am going to purposefully figure out a way to scam you out of something.
Yes, of course people do that. Not strangers, but like, why does somebody do premeditated murder? Like, they want to kill that person.
They put their needs above the other person.
Of course, okay, but they're still, with intention and purpose, going to go and screw this person over and like end their life, right? I mean, it's...
Yeah, I guess it's a very bad example, but why do you have to take it to extremes? You're pulling the Hitler card on me here.
Wow.
So whenever you're in a conversation,
Wow.
someone always goes, "Well, Hitler," and you go like, "Yeah, okay, but let's not do that."
So agreed, but you could have some disgruntled employee who then leaves and, yes, is putting their needs above yours or whatever, and then screws you over and then tells a client, Mark Drager sucks, or posts a negative review. Like, they're trying to hurt you. That happens. But they're intentionally going out, premeditated, trying to hurt you.
This is so weird hearing you talk about such negative things.
No, but I think they're hurting.
Hurt people. That's what I hear.
I think they're still good. I think people are good and still built to serve. But I think, of course, people. I would never say people never go out with premeditated action and hurt people. Of course they do.
Can I ask you a question, Steve? Since you're filming this,
Mm-hmm.
Can you see that we've crossed out people's name in the background off of our charts?
Yeah, a little bit,
But you can't really read their names too
not
much?
really.
See,
Okay,
see
perfect.
the privacy, the whole trusting thing. It's already happening. This is great.
No, it's not that. It's just that we have our team list, and then I've crossed out some people who are no longer on our
Okay,
team.
so?
And I feel bad if they watched it that they would see their name crossed out, actually.
Why? They're off to different places.
Yeah, I still feel bad.
All right.
But anyway,
Okay, so back to the hair on the shirt.
finally, yeah, let's get to the hair on the shirt.
Yeah. So I was up till 6:30 this morning, working on my wrap.
It's such a ridiculous statement.
It really is, guys. I went to bed at 11. So my normal bedtime is at 11, and I had this song in my
Which
head.
is too late. We've established you should be going to bed at 10.
Oh my gosh! Come on. Anyway, we could dive into that, but let me finish this story because I barely finished my Guy Kawasaki story. So I went to bed at 11.
You know what? I'm really sorry. I'm really self-conscious of my laugh now because
Right.
because I do
Make
that.
it
I
funny.
do that kind of
Okay.
laugh.
And
But this dude here,
Yeah.
Louis, who's walking in with a
Oh.
coffee for. Hold on, come here, Louis.
in a Louis, in a YouTube cup. Look at that.
In a very apropos YouTube.
In a YouTube
I love
cup.
that,
Hold on,
man.
You got to face it. So I was just saying that I'm self-conscious about my laugh. Welcome, Louis, our COO of the company.
Yep.
That I'm self-conscious about
The
my
king.
laugh now because you told me that it sounds like Seth Rogen's
A little
laugh.
bit, sometimes, yeah.
What's
So-
wrong with that? Seth Rogen
Nothing.
is
Nothing's
an
wrong with it.
amazing comedian.
Yeah, no criticism.
Wow, but he has a very distinct laugh that people are
now
not
so do
don't
you.
dig, and whenever I go or something like that, now
no,
I think
it's more
like
of a, like it's a throaty like Hulk. Like it's like
What?
Wow,
like
really?
a
Let's
Hulk-
hear it. Let's hear it.
What?
Like
That one?
Like Hulk.
No,
I can't
keep-
do it. I can't.
Do your best attempt. I want to hear.
that one.
Like
I don't laugh like that at all.
no, it's like a little like like a little bit.
This is
That's
so
your
good.
laugh.
That is my
great.
laugh.
That's his laugh.
That is my laugh.
But anyway, he told me that I laugh like Seth Rogen,
Yeah.
and now I feel like every time I laugh, I got this pothead thing going on. This pot smoker
No,
feel.
don't associate it with that.
Yeah, exactly.
What do you think the dude like? He's a comedian
Yeah.
who
Own
loves
it.
to
Just
smoke
own it,
pot.
dude. Own it. You're
Anyway,
fine.
that was it. Thank you for the
Okay.
coffee, Louis.
Well,
Thank you, Louis.
Go
Appreciate
keep
you, man.
go keep the company running.
No, it's good. Done well.
Anyway,
Made with
so
love.
yeah, so I laughed because that's the most ridiculous statement. I was up till 6 working on my rap.
No, so here's the thing. So there's this Chinese song that I became obsessed with.
Is that why I noticed you have a browser open on YouTube with a bunch of Chinese characters written?
That's a different song. I was diving deep into it yesterday.
Okay.
Nina's obsessed with it. And so here's the thing. So at 11, we're lying in bed. And she says, I'm still thinking about that song. And I'm like, shh, Nina, it's bedtime. Go to sleep. And then like a minute later, I'm thinking about it too.
I imagine. Hold on, this is weird. I've never even thought of you and your wife in bed before you go to bed. But knowing you, what are you having about?
Yeah.
Knowing you, I kind of feel like every night is a bit like a sleepover at camp with you.
Okay.
Like, you know, when you're with friends and you're up late talking and you're trying to go to bed, but your mind is running, and then someone makes a joke and then something else. Like I know the non-pissed off version of you.
Uh-huh.
You're the wise 90-year-old man and the 11-year-old in one body.
Yeah.
I imagine that right before bed that's happening, that you're turning into like 11-year-old, shh, go to sleep. I can't go to sleep. I'm thinking about this. This is the greatest. And you're just like, your mind is running.
Dr. Tess said that I was acting like I was 13, and I said, thank you. I think she was trying to show that it was the negative, but I was so proud. Anyway, it's nowhere close to that. Yeah, it's like once lights are off, it's like, okay, sleep.
I told you this, I think, last week or the week before. I am so exhausted that I literally pass out. So I'll be watching something, I'll be on my phone or texting you or something, and I'll literally be like, my head is nodding off, I can't keep my eyes open.
Oh.
So all I do is just do this and turn over and out.
You're sleep deprived.
So when a few weeks ago I fell asleep talking to my kids
That's crazy. You need more sleep.
at 7:45 at night, it was because they were talking, and when you're like, you know what, I'm just going to close my eyes, but I'm still listening. That's it.
Did we
Done.
talk about the
Sleep?
waking up after the sun? Did we already go through this?
No,
or
no,
not?
no. Go.
Oh, we haven't?
Go. So you're falling asleep thinking about this rap song. You get up at 3 o'clock.
Okay, let me just quick tangent. We'll come back to the rap. So I'm on a new kick where I'm not doing alarms, right? We
Yeah.
talked about that.
Yeah.
Right. And so waking up after the sun, we talked about that?
No.
Oh, okay. So everybody's on, so I don't get up until the sun
It's already out.
is up.
Yeah.
Yeah. So everybody's on the like beat the sun up, beat the sun up.
Okay.
I'm waiting for the sun to come up.
Okay.
Yeah. So I woke up the other day at 6 something and no, 7, I forget anyway. I got 8 hours sleep or 7.5 hours sleep, something
Do you
like
ever
that.
feel like with all of these things that you get obsessed with,
Yeah.
very, very quickly get excited about,
Uh-huh.
that if you were able to direct that energy towards productive things in your business, your brand, or other things, that you get a lot further?
I do.
Okay.
This is what I do.
Okay.
Yeah, it is. This is
It's all one and the same.
It is, exactly.
Okay.
Yeah. Like me coming here to film a podcast just because I was upset with the picture that you took of yourself
You're upset with it? Oh, yeah.
is
like-
like the most productive day of all time for me. Today is great. Anyway, so I had 7.5 hours sleep, and normally I would get up, right? Like
Mm-hmm.
I got 7 hours sleep, but my sleep doctor says I'm supposed to have 8.5 to 9, and the sun wasn't up. It's like, okay, I'm gonna force. I want to get up. I want to work. Nope, stay in bed.
So you fell back asleep, or you just laid in bed?
I fell back asleep
Yep.
a little bit, and then I woke up like, I'm the best. Because it's actually harder for me. I want to get up and work.
Right.
It's harder for me to stay in bed than it is for me to get up and work. It's like I'm the opposite.
Yesterday, I think it was yesterday, maybe 2 days ago, I fell asleep at 8:30,
Yeah.
which was amazing. But I woke up at 3:30 then, like wide awake, like ready to go. But I have a 5:30 gym appointment. I'm like, what am I going to do for like 2 hours?
Oh my God.
So,
Work.
no, so I just
No?
went back to sleep. I was like,
Oh,
I get to go
okay.
back to sleep. It was like
Or
sleeping in.
sleep.
It was like sleeping. Getting up at 4:45 was like sleeping in for me. It was amazing.
Anyway, so
So you're rapping. You're rapping.
after-
Let's get
no,
through
no,
the
you-
story.
You get up after the sun comes up. That's my new
Great.
thing. So yeah, so Nina and I are in bed. We're thinking about the song, and then all of a sudden,
Steve just raised his eyebrows. He just went,
all of a sudden, I'm getting lyrics in my head.
yeah.
Oh my God, that's a great lyric.
Yeah.
There's this part in the song, and this is Chinese song. I don't even know what she's talking about. And Nina doesn't even know what the song's about either. So she's
Nina speaks Mandarin, doesn't
yeah,
she?
but the woman speaks really quickly, and then the language, I forget which one it is. She doesn't know as well as the other one.
Okay.
So
Cantonese and Mandarin?
yeah, so she doesn't really.
Do you know which one your wife speaks?
No,
Is she from
She's-
Hong
well,
Kong or mainland?
she's from mainland, so she's
In
better
a-
Mandarin.
A
but-
village?
Well, Fujian. She's from Fujian, so Fujianese is her official, like
Ah,
what she
okay.
knows the best. But it's only it's a dialect, right?
Mhm.
And then Mandarin you learn in school there, but then she came here and everybody here speaks Cantonese, and so it's like this is anyway. So she didn't know what to say. I asked her like 1,000 times, maybe not 1,000, at least 17 times. What is this song about?
And every time she's like, I told you I don't know.
Yeah. And so now she finally knew this morning, and she asked her sister-in-law to
translate it.
Yeah, to get me like exact. But anyway, so there are these moments where it's more instrumental. So then I come up with these bars. I come up with these lyrics for like what to add to the song.
Mm-hmm.
Like, oh my God, that's great. So I take out my phone and just start typing an email to myself with the lyrics that I came up with, right?
Yep.
Okay, so I came up with 4 lines. Okay, those are good. Okay.
Nina's Facebooking, messaging me for some reason.
Hey Nina, what's up? Oh, she wanted to talk about moving the podcast.
Oh,
Yeah.
Okay. Cool.
Yeah. So okay, great lines. So put it down, and then I get hit with more lines. Like, oh my God, okay, forget this one. No. And then.
Did you used to write poetry, rap?
No.
Spoken word?
No, nothing.
Nothing.
0.
Mm-hmm.
That's the best. And then I came up with this other rhyming combination I wanted to do. Anyway, I wrote it down. Meanwhile, I was in bed for 4 hours before I got up. From 11 to 3:30, 4.5 hours.
Just thinking about this
Just
rap.
thinking about this rap. Yeah. Trying to sleep, think about the rap. Like, screw it. I didn't know what time it was. I'm going to get up. And then it's 3:30. Jesus. Holy cow, I was in bed for 4.5 hours thinking about this thing. I'm going to go. So then I go and I put it to the music.
Right, and you start rapping it.
Yeah, practicing. Because I don't know how many of the lines, but it matched up perfectly. Like, oh, it just hits. It's amazing. And then I got to add more. So then I did a second verse. So it's first and second verse. And then I'm anyway, practicing for like 2 hours, going through from 3:30 to 5:30.
I can't hide. I'm trying to be like supportive and really interested.
Okay.
But I can't hide how ridiculous I think this is.
That's great. It is ridiculous.
Yeah.
You got to do ridiculous stuff.
Okay.
You're talking about having a picture in your office with skinny Mark and flames and on a car.
You're the one who told me to do that. That's ridiculous.
Great, but you're embracing the ridiculous. This is it. This is where genius comes from, guys. This is where it happens. You come up with an idea, you have to go off and do it. So then it's I don't know what time it was. Then I started working on the website and I messaged Mark and started to feel tired around 6. So then at 6:30 I went back to bed.
But this is like the second time in a week that Friday, the same thing you did. You did the same thing Friday.
What did I do Friday?
You built your website.
Oh my gosh, amazing, right? How much progress? Like, been thinking about this for, I don't know, how long we talked
Yeah, but we talked about it on the last episode of the podcast.
And then
you stayed up until 6:45 in the morning or something.
Yeah,
you didn't go to sleep.
And then the other nights I've been averaging 9.5 freaking hours of sleep this week.
But it erases all of the good work you're doing if you're going to have all of the sleep, and then you're just going to screw it all over by staying up late rapping.
No, I don't think so. I don't. I think teaching yourself that you're awesome is more important.
Okay. So what do you want to talk about this week? Since you surprised me.
No, hey, we didn't finish the hair story. This is all part of it.
My goodness, I'm getting bored by our own podcast.
Well, you keep interrupting with other things.
Go.
So
hair.
We ended last night, or at least this morning, where you said "Good night, my child" or whatever.
That was this morning.
This morning.
That's this morning. Yeah. Because
at 6:30.
At
like,
6:30,
good night.
I said,
and I
sleep,
said,
my
Mark,
child. I said,
yeah,
sleep,
yeah.
my child. You said, yes, Lord.
Right. So I said, do you have any time for me today? Because this is going to be my biggest priority.
Yes.
Is fixing my tour website.
Right.
Mark's texting my wife. Well, we'll wait. We'll all wait for Mark to text.
Did Evan tell you about tomorrow, the podcast? I said, yes, we're live now.
Great. We'll wait. We'll wait for Mark.
Perfect. We're not waiting for me.
Yeah.
Nina is the one who needs the attention.
We're waiting for Mark.
No.
So that's how we ended. Said
Yes.
good night. And Mark said, I have between 11:30 and 1
Free.
Mm-hmm. Great. Perfect. But I don't know what time I'm going to wake up because I'm going to sleep at 6:30 now.
Right.
So I said, if I'm awake, then I'm going to come.
Yeah.
So I woke up at
10:45.
10:45.
Yeah.
And then I was like, did Mark say 11? Did he say 11:30? It's my first thought. What time did Mark say? 11? Because 11, I'm screwed, right? I'm returning at 10:45.
Yeah.
Or 11:30. And it was 11:30. Oh my God. Yeah. Okay, great. So I wake up, go to the bathroom, and then I got to tell Nina about the whole rap thing, right? He's like, let me rap for you. Let me do the rap, right? And so I did the rap, and he was like, oh, it's amazing. So I was like, and then they're like, I got to go see Mark right now, and we have no gas in the car. So I'd like throw on anything and go.
Okay.
So that's why I have hair on my shirt.
Okay.
Because I'm rushing to see my friend Mark from the Church of Marketing to learn
That
how
is
to.
the like longest. That is like the longest thing ever.
But you enjoyed.
I did enjoy the ending. Yeah. So what do you want to talk about? So this is your podcast episode because I usually
Don't put
spend
it
some
on
time.
me.
No,
Come on.
listen to me.
Jesus
I spend
Christ.
time
You're fine.
thinking about what I'm feeling, what I'm working through, what I can draw on, so you can
So-
feel like you're coaching me, and yet you show up and you're like, we're recording the podcast, right?
This is good exercise for you to get out of your head and into your heart
Mm-hmm.
and come up with something.
And come up with something.
Yep.
I feel like our podcast viewers and listeners deserve the very best from you. So come up with something.
But this is our role, though. You
This is our role.
milk it out of me.
Oh, every time you say stuff like that, it just gives me this terrible image in my head of you
Oh.
being a cow.
Oh, and you're squeezing my udders?
Yeah,
Okay,
and I'm just
great.
like sitting there
Yeah.
working away,
That's
milking.
That's what it is. It's
Milking
great.
you.
Yeah.
Ugh.
That's what this podcast is.
Okay.
We should change the artwork.
Maybe for season 3, Evan is a cow.
When is season
Evan
3?
You can get your illustrator person to draw
Yeah.
your face on a cow with me as a farmer milking you.
People love those illustrations.
They're pretty good.
Yeah.
They're pretty good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
For
I
people
will
who
give
don't
you that.
know, on my Instagram once a day, we do a cartoon Evan doing something with a message. Sometimes it's somebody else, sometimes it's not. Nina's made a couple cameo appearances. We don't have a Mark appearance,
No, that's okay. I'm not big enough yet.
but Farmer Mark, that could be the thing.
You know, so
Farmer Mark could be a whole new series. People would only know you as Farmer,
Farmer
Mark.
Mark. Mark in the truck, Farmer Mark.
Yeah, it fits so well.
Sure.
Yeah,
Sure.
yeah,
You want to know something that I have been working through?
Yeah.
This is my whole life, though.
great.
So there's this Sheryl Crow song. I'm not even a huge Sheryl Crow fan, but there's this line in one of her songs that's always stuck with me. It's not getting what you want, it's wanting what you have.
Okay,
That's the line. It's not
Gratitude.
getting what you want, it's wanting what you have.
okay.
And so I always fluctuate between, and so you just said the answer, I guess, is gratitude.
Oh.
Podcast done. No. But I always fluctuate between what I feel like I deserve.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I feel like I should deserve this. I should have that. I've worked hard enough for this or for that. I want my life to look a certain way and be a certain way and be structured a certain way and have certain things and all of those things. And then I have to back myself off the ledge and go, but look at everything I have. I already have everything I need. Right? And so
Yep.
this manifests itself like, you're talking about Farmer Marks. This is what I thought about it. Like I would love to have a farm, a property. I'd
okay.
love to have a property. I'd love to
Okay.
have like 100 or 200 acres.
Because?
Right? Because I imagine that when I want the space and I want to be far away from neighbors and I want to be able to do my own thing and I love the thought of the dog running around, all this stuff. But everything that made us move from our small house that Jack and I used to be in 5 years ago to now we are on like a half acre in the city
Okay. You're not in the city. Hold up.
in Oshawa.
Wait, where's Stephen? Where are you from?
He's from Ottawa.
He's from far too. Are you Ottawa?
Yeah.
You don't drive in from Ottawa.
No. But he lives in Stouffville right now.
Yeah, okay.
But no. So when I say I'm in the city,
Oshawa is not in the city.
that's fine. It's a different city.
But like, not even a city.
Relax. The reason I said it is because we're not on a half acre in like an estate community. We're
Okay.
not like in an executive community. We're not in a small town. We are literally
Pretty small town.
like every property around our property
Okay.
are like 30 or 40 foot lots.
Okay.
But we have a house that was built in the 60s on an apple orchard.
Okay.
That's a half acre.
Okay. There you go. That's some good context.
So our neighbors to the side of us, there are 5 properties that overlook ours because our house is
Oh, I
our
see.
property's 300 feet
yeah,
deep.
yeah. Got it.
So it's just
Yep.
like anyway. So I wanted my property because I'm like, look at all this space.
Okay.
And so we've been there 5 years, and I haven't even taken advantage of it. Like, there's so much we can do, and there's so much we can do to make it better. And I always go like, like my neighbors who've lived in their little houses for 30 or 40 years are happily retired there, and I'm like, I want more, right? So we moved from our 28-foot lot to now this half acre, but now I want to move from the half acre to 100 acres because I just always want more. But it's that way with everything. It's that way with money. It's with space. It's with the company. It's with the team. It's just this desire and drive to have more. And then I have to remind myself, it's not getting what you want. It's wanting what you have, right? I already have a great space. I just don't take full advantage of it. I already have a good team. I just don't push them hard enough or take advantage of it. I already have a great company. I can just turn it into something better. That's something that I've always struggled with. And I don't know if the answer is just I'm always going to struggle with it or not, but it's the how do you feed the desire and drive to do more, bigger things, want more, and balance that off with not just being consumed with chasing stuff all the time. I don't know how to separate those things.
Well, the first separation is a lot of your ambitions are very materialistic.
Yeah, and we talked about that back in the past, and I spent most of my life actually not wanting to admit that they're materialistic, or, like Lily Ma, who's a coach you worked with at your May event. Part of the reason why I think at that event, your May Thought Leadership event, at the end, she said, thank you, Mark, I had the best conversation with him, was we had a really deep conversation about this, but I still feel uncomfortable wanting what I want. And she was just like, why are you ashamed to want what you want, right? If you want to be a speaker, then part of you wants to get up in front of people and be known and help people and be on stage. And part of me wants to go and be a speaker and be known and be on stage, but I don't want to be seen having that ego to want to say, look at me, love me, people. That little thing also exists with the things that, with our skill sets, with our team, with how well known you are, with the material things that you want. To me, it's all wrapped up in the same thing. Lily said, Mark, just admit that you want it and own that you want it, and stop beating yourself up for wanting what you want.
I'm not a huge fan of that advice.
No?
I think
that's the first time I've ever heard you say that.
Well, I'm not why? Because here's the thing: it's never going to end. That chase will never end.
Yeah.
Until you'll be constantly chasing the wrong thing and be unhappy. It's taking out the materialistic stuff, because you need to have ambitions and drive and wanting more, but not I want to have a 1,000-acre property so I can what?
Yeah. Like a year ago, I was looking at properties in Georgia, and I was like, how could we get more than 500 acres?
But for what? What's the drive? What's the thing behind it?
I want to have a place so big and so large that you can get lost in it. And
why?
Why? Because I don't want people around me.
But why?
I don't want people to know what I'm doing. I don't want people around me. I want to have my space. I want to be able to. Lion King, as far as the eye can see, is ours.
That's the second time you've said an iteration of that. You want to do your own thing, or you don't want people to know what you're doing.
Yeah.
That's the problem you need to fix.
Okay.
Yeah, you're covering it with a Band-Aid up. I want to have 1,000 acres, but really just afraid of people seeing what you're doing.
Sure.
That's the problem you need to fix.
Okay.
You fix that, then you'll be more grateful for what you have.
I am really. This is the pendulum swing. This is the devil's advocate side of me. I am really, because I am very much able to say, I want these things.
But
and then I go, do I really need those things? I don't really need those things. I have all these great things already, and then I'm super grateful for the things that I have.
Where desire comes from is important. These are all desires out of insecurities.
Okay.
It's never going to go away. So wanting more because of insecurities is not great advice. Saying I want, it's like the reason behind it matters. Do you want to have a half an acre or 5,000 acres or whatever because you don't want people to see what you're doing? Is a garbage reason. That's out of insecurity.
But this is like when last year at Tony Robbins we were walking out and we were standing in Newark late at night outside of a 7-Eleven in a dangerous part of town, and you're like, what are you working for? What do you want? And all I could talk about was retirement. And you got really angry.
Yeah.
Because you didn't want me thinking about retirement.
Great. I'm happy with myself for that.
Great. You didn't want me thinking about having the property and having the Porsche and all of those things.
Right.
But it doesn't mean that I still don't want them.
But here's the thing. It's not that the advice was bad as a general rule. The advice was bad given this context.
Okay.
Why do you want the thing? What's the underlying motive behind wanting that thing? If it's based off of an insecurity, then the answer is to stomp out the insecurity.
But everything we want is based off of a desire. It's based off of a need to drive for security. So if I get these things, I'll feel more secure. Or status. If I get these things, people will think that I'm a certain way.
Not everything we want.
Or it's service.
Yes.
Everything is service, status, or security.
Great. So lean in on service.
Okay.
If you said, I want to have a 5,000 acre property so that I can start my own church of marketing that people will come to every week, and I'm going to have the cows that they milk, and they're all purple, and
Wow,
all
you're
of
tying
it.
this all together
Right?
now. Purple cow.
Right?
I like it.
You
That's
like
a
that? You
really
like
old
that?
book.
You like that?
That's a good
good, man.
reference.
Right there.
Yeah, there you go.
Like, if that's why you want to do it, awesome. Go do it. And don't be ashamed of that. And don't be when I'm waking up and doing my rap, I'm super proud. And you think it's crazy and wild and everybody thinks I'm nuts. Amazing. This is great. Right? If that's why you want to do it, then go off and do it and be proud and don't care what other people think. But if that's not based off of insecurity, that's you trying to help and serve. So that's why the advice is contextual. I don't like the advice because the context is wrong.
Okay.
You wanting a bigger property just because you're afraid of what people are going to see you do is not a great reason. You need to stomp out that insecurity.
It's not just that reason.
No, but you said it twice. You said it twice.
Because, listen, the reason we moved to the property we're on now, the house we're on now, is because we wanted the kids to have a sledding hill and climb trees and fall out of it and all that stuff. And so that's
pissed off. I'm so pissed
Why?
that Lily missed it because that's me, right? If Lily missed it, then I didn't do a good enough job at that time. And that for you, it's like the big takeaway from that whole thing.
I don't know what to do with your anger, but
Pissed.
we all have the things that we want that we know are materialistic, but we want them anyway.
But why?
Why?
Why? What's the reason why? The why is important. Why do you want that thing?
I'm driven by the extraordinary. I want to be extraordinary.
Okay, great, but
Like-
if you want to go off and get a Porsche,
But how is this any different than the car you wanted me to buy? I had the idea for the car. Mark, you got to go buy the car. You had
Yeah.
the idea. You said, love, you want to buy the car.
Why? Tell me.
What was
You
it
tell me
driven
why.
by that?
Tell me.
Because I wanted to do something extraordinary for myself and cool.
And you said, no, I'm not going to do that.
Yeah.
It's a different lesson.
Okay.
It's the rap this morning. I'm going to wake up and do my rap.
Okay.
And it's awesome. And that if I just relied on I'm not going to remember what I wrote, what I was thinking about the last night.
I can't parse out all the different nuances in every single lesson that you give because when you spend enough time with you, they all start to meld together and it's very hard to parse out all these nuances.
Okay, great. Well, start milking. This is your job. Make it easy. Right?
So like here's an idea I have, right?
Yeah.
So here's a perfect example.
Yeah.
I typically buy a vehicle, I drive a ton. Right? I buy a vehicle, I keep it for 4 years.
Mm-hmm.
So typically by 4 years, I've put 120 to 140,000 kilometers on it
Okay.
in 4 years. So then I buy another vehicle, and I just go through new vehicles because I use them for work. The last bunch of vehicles I bought, I really liked them at first, and then a year in, I felt like they weren't enough, and so I wanted something better, and I spent the last few years pining for something else. And then I get that thing, and then
not
I
enough
love it,
what?
and then I spent a few years pining for something else. This is the first time where with my truck, this is the first thing where I'm still in love with the truck.
Okay.
I'm still in love with it. Love everything about it, but I'm going to sell it this spring.
Okay.
And I'm going to sell it this spring because it's hitting the age where there might be some mechanical issues.
Yeah, great.
It has a recall. There's a bunch of things. I'm going to take my money and I'm going to go down to the States and I'm going to find an old pickup truck.
Okay.
I'm going to import it into Canada, which is way too much work
Okay.
because I really want like a late 90s Ford diesel truck.
Because?
Because when I started getting into ground maintenance in my first job, we had like mid 90s pickup trucks, and I love the shape. I love how aggressive they are. I love that this older technology, and it just reminds me of when I started working at 15.
So sentimental.
It's the first trucks that I started working with
Great.
and on. So I love it. I'm going to do it. I talked to Jacqueline. Whatever. I'm going to figure it all out. I'm going to make that happen.
But that's different than this truck. But this is important. This is why the context. You're looking for black and white. The context matters. The advice that you were given might have been great or might have been the worst of all time. Right? The context matters. If you said, I want to buy that truck because it's the noisiest truck possible, and I want all my neighbors to know when I show up. You know,
Okay.
like, okay, that's pretty insecure of you, Mark. Like, that's not a good reason to buy that truck. Right?
Okay.
Like, reasons matter. So there's two different lessons. The one is,
But
why-
but here's where I'm going. But I still want that. I'm going to do all of this work to make it happen. I'm going to spend all this money and introduce all this risk in my life when I'm a risk-averse person. So to me, this feels like a huge move. Like, it's
not a
pretty
huge move.
complicated to actually try and buy a U.S. vehicle imported into Canada.
You're
It's-
okay. Jesus.
Okay.
It's not a huge move. That's the thing.
It's a huge move.
This
It's a
is
huge
lesson
move.
number 2. No, but it's not.
It's a huge move, and I'm
It's
going
not
to
a
do
huge-
it.
it's
And
not
then
a
a
huge
few
move.
years into it, I'm like, and I'm going to want the next thing.
But it's a different lesson, though. Like,
Okay.
So, it's like if you're trying to lose weight, you have your workouts, you have your cardio, you got your weights, you got your diet,
Yeah.
everything. Like
Sleep, exposure to cold.
great, all of it. The net result is you lose weight, but you got to do all these things. So if the net result is building Mark into a better person, you got to do all these different things, right? And sometimes they see like, so do you sleep or do you go work out? They feel like they can combat each other, right?
Okay.
What's more important? Depends on the day.
Okay.
So this is the same thing. You're taking two separate concepts and trying to smush them into one, but they're two separate concepts. The first is, what's the reason why you want to do the thing in the first place?
Mm-hmm.
Are you proud of the reason why?
Mm-hmm.
If it's just because I don't want my neighbors to see me, no, that's a stupid reason. It's insecure, right? That's not a good reason. The other side of it is, when you come up with an idea, you teach yourself to go off and do it. That it's not a big thing. You're buying a car from the U.S. Wow, such a big deal. This is what's at the edge of Mark's abilities, is buying a car from the U.S. It's a huge thing.
Super risky.
It's not. It
It
not.
is.
It's not super risky. It's not super complicated. What's the downside? Like, worst case, you can sell it. Your exposure is not that big. Like, that this is at the edge of your comfort zone is ridiculous for the god of a man who's in front of me right now, right? So, but it's a different lesson than the reason behind it. They're two different things. You want to improve both. Like, the fact that that's at the edge of your capabilities is just...
It feels
just so non-extraordinary,
It
it's
feels very
ridiculous.
risky to me.
What's the downside?
Buying an out-of-country vehicle with currency and then figuring out how to get it, I don't know, shipped or something to the border, and then dealing with the 72-hour import. Like, I've looked into the laws and stuff. Anyway, it seems really complicated.
Fine.
But I'm going to do it. I'm going to
Great.
make myself proud.
Great, but
I'm going to be proud of the effort.
Great. But it's not a big thing. It's not a big deal, Mark. You're capable of way bigger things than that. That is, like, that's at the edge of your capabilities, and that this is a huge thing.
Dude, you built a custom home,
Yeah.
right? So you built a custom home. You worked with an architect. You had a home builder.
Mm-hmm.
You built a home that was very large, very expensive, and was in magazines. That's how modern and cool it was.
Yeah.
That to me would seem so far outside of my comfort zone that it would seem way too high risk for me to even as much as I would dream and think about it, writing the check, getting it started, that seems too big for me.
But that's the problem. That's the
I'm
exact
not saying
problem
that that's
I'm
not
trying
a
to fix.
problem. I'm saying that this is where I am right now.
But
This is my comfort zone.
and I'm saying it's not. Because if this is where you are right now, you want to be extraordinary. Where are you going to be in 5 years, 10 years? You're like still. Oh, now I did some other little tiny thing. When you're capable of so much more.
Okay.
Yeah, but it's a different lesson than the reason behind it. The idea that this is at the edge of your comfort zone, like you could build that house. When did I build that house? That was
A long time ago. 2009, 2010,
something like
11.
that. I don't remember. 9 years ago?
Super high
10
risk,
years
though.
ago? But it's not. What's the downside, Mark? I mean, like, great, I built the house.
Yeah.
And then
But
a
so
year
there's a great
later,
example. You built this, 5,000 square foot modern, beautiful home. You spent, a lot of money on it, 7-figure plus building this thing in Toronto, and you got it, and it was like, oh, I don't want this. Turns out I don't like shoveling the driveway. I don't like having to cut the grass. I actually prefer condo living, and I don't need all of this space and all of that stuff. But you wanted what you wanted. It was a materialistic thing.
it was more, so it was, one, we bought a plot of land, and then if you're going to build a house, it doesn't make sense to build a small house, because for resale, you
Right.
can build a bigger house. So we built the house, 5,000 something square feet, just giant.
Huge home.
Giant for what we needed.
Right.
And I appreciated the modern touch and flair, and it built an awesome all glass office, and we had a bridge going to the master bedroom and all this fun stuff. I liked it. I appreciated it, but it wasn't because like I hosted nobody. It wasn't to have people come over and look at my house, right?
Right.
It was for me. I enjoyed it. I appreciated it. But then we sold it, right? Great. Like, you sell your car. What are you so afraid of? Like,
that's the quote of my life.
but let's fix it. We're fixing your life.
Fear drives everything that I do. I know that you don't believe much in the Enneagram, and I do, and this and that. And I'm not saying that I can't. It's the number thing that we've talked about.
Oh.
You know, but fear literally drives every decision that I make all the time.
You know, Alex redid his 16 personalities, whatever.
Okay.
And came back with something that different.
Yeah, that can change depending on where you are in life.
Yeah, but it's not supposed to. Personality, it's not supposed to change.
No, Myers-Briggs do change.
Oh, well, all the personality stuff I've read says personality stays the same.
No, your Myers-Briggs can change depending on growth.
Great, I love it.
Yeah.
So grow. Your number can change too?
No, you can't. That's one that I can't. You can just get to healthier or unhealthier versions of it.
It's not. It's not.
But your number can't change because it's the intentions and motivations that drive you.
You've already changed.
Sure.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm just telling you that fear drives everything I do. So
But
I see risk in things that you don't see risk in.
No, I still see risk in things. It's just different levels of comfort through taking action. Everybody's driven by fear, of course. I'm
Okay.
driven by fear.
Okay.
My comfort zone is bigger.
Right.
And I want to attack the things. The fact that makes you afraid, if that was me, it's like, oh,
And
I need a shower.
and
Like, let's go do
dude,
this
and
thing.
the fact that on your road to 10 million, I tell you to go out and hire someone and pay them a good salary. And that worries you and terrifies you. And I would easily do that. I do that all the time. I hire great expensive people all the time.
Great. So you can always sell the car.
Yeah.
But
I still want the thing that I want. So
it's a different thing. What's the motivation behind it? Making sure that that's a positive one and not a negative one. Like, why do you want the thing that you want? It can't. That's not blanket advice. Is poor to say you should go off and.
We know it's bad to be materialistic, right?
Depends.
Okay.
Like if it's, I really appreciate the. Like cars, right? People love their cars.
I love cars.
Why do you love cars, though? Is it because you want to show off to all these people around you and make videos and all this, or because like you appreciate the story and the art, the engineering and the whatever, right? It's different. Most people buy the whatever because.
Why did you buy Porsche?
I just like the car. Like I don't know the story of the company. I just like the look of the car.
Okay.
Yeah, and why did I spend $1,000 or $800 for red seatbelts, right? I just love the red seatbelts. but when do you see me in my Porsche? Like, when am I making videos or like tearing down the streets of my Porsche? It's not. I don't do any of the Porsche clubs and meetups and driving tours and.
Well, you couldn't because you're not in a Porsche enough Porsche.
Oh well, whatever. I get invited to all sorts of stuff.
Yeah, because you own one, but you'd show up and they'd be like, "Really? You brought that? You have
Awesome.
a Macan, right?
It's the SUV.
It's a Macan.
The small SUV.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You don't even know the name of the model. I have a red one. It's a red SUV. I don't even know.
Yeah.
It's a Macan.
Yeah. I'm not a car guy, but I still appreciate the car. Like, getting the car, it's amazing. I love it. But it's not to, it's not to say, hey, I drive a Porsche.
Here's the thing. So I know materialism is bad.
But what's the reason behind the materialism?
Sure, hold on. I know materialism is bad. I spent a whole bunch of years wanting things, but then beating myself up for wanting them. And then that kills momentum.
Yes.
That holds me back. When we were at Tony Robbins a year ago, one of the biggest things that I had to break through was the thought that the more you have, the more you can do. The more you have, the more you can give.
Yep.
The more that you have. And so...
Church of Marketing.
And so it's me going like, okay, I'm finally comfortable admitting that I want X dollars. I want this. I want to achieve that. I want to be a leader. I want to put myself out there. I want to do all of those things. And so a breakthrough for me was just saying, like, I knew I wanted them, but I just didn't want to be seen wanting them because that is ego and that's materialism and that's all, that's all of these bad things. And then now it's me going like, okay, so I'm gonna accept the fact that I like material things, that I like nice things, that.
But why? Like,
so now,
you
I'm on the side of embracing it and being comfortable with it and saying, I want that thing. I want that thing. I want to go after that thing. I'm going to admit that I want that thing.
Okay.
But there's still the like always wanting more.
That's what we're trying to fix. Like,
I just feel like I'm not explaining myself properly.
No, I understand it. Like, wanting something and then beating yourself up for wanting it
Yes.
is like the worst of both.
Right.
You want something out of insecurity and then you beat yourself up because of it. Now you're like hitting yourself twice.
But you always want things because, they're nice or they'll make you feel good or whatever. Status is tied to everything that everyone does, and fear,
but
and
the more that you
security
make
and all of
decisions based off of status, you're going to lose.
Mm-hmm.
That's what you need to fix. You got to stop caring about status. Stop caring about what your neighbors think of you. Go walk outside naked in your backyard, right?
But
like that's what you need to do
not
today.
caring about status for a long time held me back. The embracing the drive for material or the drive for this has actually seen me push my boundaries and work a lot harder and take bigger risks over the last year.
No, because you sure, but you're looking at status now as I want this. It's right to want this. So you've removed one lever of the punch where you were saying, oh, it's bad to want this.
Mm-hmm.
So you're off achieving. Great. But this is the curse of many achievers. They actually hate their life because they're just chasing down the next big thing.
Mm-hmm.
It's getting rid of the need for status and moving it to service. The more famous you become, the more you can serve. Mm-hmm. The more you have, the more whatever you just said before.
You can give.
Yeah, the more you have, the more you can give. So go get so that you can give. Not go get so you can be seen. Shifting the significance to contribution. And I don't know that you get, listen, I'm not perfect either, right? I don't know that you go to 100-0 of, even I think Tony Robbins is still loves the significance of being on stage,
Mm-hmm.
but it's shifting it to be the contribution, the service first, that what you do matters and is helping other people as the primary motive, and then everything falls underneath. And that's given me the willingness to be more public, because
Mm-hmm.
I was introverted. Like, I don't want to be famous, right? I have no need to be famous. I enjoy significance, but my battle is putting service first. And when I went to...
You mean you too often put service over significance, or the other way around?
I want to put service first,
Yes.
and I think I'm there, but it's not 100-0. So I remember the first time we went to Tony. The first time we went to Tony,
Mm-hmm.
I forget what I put.
So Tony Robbins has 6 needs, just to explain.
Yeah, good.
There's the 4 needs that are the human needs that almost all of us are driven by. That's certainty, just the need to be certain about something, to feel comfortable, to go to the same job every day, to be married to the same person every day, and just to know what's going to happen so we feel completely safe and certain about everything. But, eating the same sandwich for lunch every day will get boring eventually. So the second need is uncertainty or variety. It's the reason that people jump out of airplanes, the reason they go on vacation, the reason they have affairs, right? As much as you want the certainty of life, you marry the person in front of you, you want some variety in your life. So you go out and chase that variety. Then the next thing is connection and love. So being connected, having a connection with people and being loved, or the need to be loved. And then the last is significance. The need to be seen, being seen, to be significant, to...
No, there's something. There's growth. The last 2 are growth and contribution.
Yeah, I haven't gotten to those yet.
Oh, but there's 6.
Yeah, I've just explained the first 4, which are the needs of the people, and then there's the needs of the soul or the needs of the heart.
Through 7.
No, I've gone through certainty,
Uncertainty.
and uncertainty.
Love, connection.
Love and connection are
Or 1. Okay, love and connection are
just
1.
like uncertainty and variety is 1. Love and connection is another one.
No. Certainty and uncertainty are 2 different ones.
Certainty
Is 1.
is 1. Second, uncertainty or variety.
Yes.
Third one, love or connection.
Okay, but this is not the same thing. That love and connection is 1, where certainty and uncertainty are 2.
Yes.
Yeah, okay,
I'm
good.
saying uncertainty and variety is the same.
Yes. 4th is significance. 5th is growth. 6th is contribution.
Yes,
Perfect.
there you go. We've gone through
I
them
had
now.
growth as my number 1, and then I couldn't get to a number. I had it split between significance and contribution. Significance is me feeling important. Contribution is feeling like the work I do matters.
Yeah.
And so I couldn't just put into a box just say like, this is it. It was a percentage. And I felt like the first time we went, I forget what I put, something like 40-60. And then I flipped it to 60-40, where more on the contribution than on significance. Because how do how do I even know? Like it's easy to BS yourself to say I'm doing this because of.
See, and a year ago, I
Yeah.
put certainty and significance as my main drivers.
Yeah.
And I put that I wanted contribution and significance to be, I didn't think I could get past losing significance. But I don't think I've really moved that far away from certainty and significance. I think I'm still living firmly in the land of certainty and significance.
I was talking to Ed Milet about this when I did the interview on my.
Another great little name drop, eh?
Jesus.
No, it's awesome.
So I'm talking
it's
to
awesome.
Ed
What
Milet.
significance? Look at that significance pump that
and
just went
Ed
up.
is Ed's friends with Tony, and he said, you know what? It's even Tony is not 100-0. He still does it because he loves significance.
Here's the thing. Even Tony Robbins isn't Tony Robbins.
Yeah, he's referencing my book. So my goal is to move as close to like until you get to Jesus level where it's 100% contribution and no significance. Right? That's the aspiration. So nobody's perfect, but moving that line to say I'm making these decisions because of contribution, of service, of trying to help other people. And then as you have more, you can do more. So examining the reasons why you want something is important. And teaching yourself to take immediate action, right? Like two different things.
Okay.
So you get an idea, you're a genius, you go off and do it. You should have gone and got the car. When you thought about it, you were negotiating that deal with.
But there's always something else. Someone, Joe, was like, "Mark, did you get the car?" I was like, "No, I'm already on the next thing. I'm already thinking about the pickup truck. There's always something else.
But that's
there's
fine.
the next idea.
That's fine. But don't teach yourself that you come up with great ideas and then you don't do them, because then you're teaching yourself that that's actually not that great an idea. You come with an idea, you do it, and then you fix the source of the problem with the ideas. Like, why do I want this idea? Is it because I'm just insecure? Or is it because, no, this is actually part of my bigger mission? But you can't keep coming up with ideas. Why I woke up this morning and did the rap.
You go back to this rap. This
Yeah,
damn
yeah.
rap.
Well, it's what happened today.
Are you going to rap it for us right now?
I don't even know it. So even this morning, right? This morning, I woke up at 10:30 now because of the sleep, or 10:45. And I said, I'm going to go see Mark. I don't even know. I'm going to work hard and be gentle on myself. But to be honest, I've already done so much work today. But that's it. Like, it's the weirdness. I want everybody to feel that way. I want not just the weird duckness, but of the feeling awesome about yourself. That how many people would wake up at 10:45 and feel great about themselves? Most people would like start beating themselves up. And then start doing something negative, right? Like you go waste time watching stupid videos.
Right, you
or,
say the day's already
yeah, the
messed
day's
up.
gone, forget it.
But you can always save the day.
Yes, but and that's
like
great.
we could with our diets.
Yes, and that's great. But even better is to catch it immediately and not even have the negative thought come in to say, this day is over.
Right.
It's like, I crushed last night, right? Like, did my rap and then started working on my website right away instead of watching Netflix or, I don't know, whatever else people do. But I want that for others. Like, I want that, like, drink the milk, go.
Right. Well, I'll have to listen back to this podcast and think on this, because if you have to attack the underlying condition because the thing you want is just the symptom,
Yes.
then
Yep.
I now need to have to figure out how to be less insecure.
You need to walk naked in your backyard.
That's not happening. I just said we have 6 neighbors that overlook our backyard.
That's the whole point. Or in a thong, because you're worried about.
That won't get me arrested. That's different.
Okay, great.
I already do stuff like that anyway. Like
Wait, you can't.
like,
you can't. Wait, if
I
you
wear
walk
the
in,
craziest
hold on.
boots. I'll show up like I'll show up to the gym in like farmer boots, a pair of shorts, no jacket.
You're happy
And I
about
literally
that.
had someone laugh at me the other day. They
Yeah,
looked at me and laughed, and I went, "Yeah, that's right."
Yeah,
I
but
was
you
so
like
proud.
that.
I was so proud.
Of course, which is great. But you get arrested for being naked in your own backyard? I don't think so.
Listen, it might upset my neighbors. I have to live beside these people.
Okay, great. But this is what you're worried about.
Yeah, I'm worried about offending people that I have to spend my life living beside
Okay, so
and doing
Speedo,
life with.
Speedo, you need to get rid of. I can't do my own thing. That's how you get rid of
because
it.
I want to like plant apple trees and like build hedges and make sure no one can like. I want to have like my own little private oasis space. No one's allowed. Listen, I get pissed off when people walk through my backyard. Like it's like that's my property. Get off of it.
Okay, so build a fence.
Yeah.
You know
I
what
will.
fence?
I will. We'll build a fence. We don't have fences now.
Oh, okay, great. So nobody's gonna walk through your backyard, but you not being able to do what you want to do because of 6 neighbors around you who could potentially see in, and they all hate their lives. That's what you need to fix. What do you want to do?
There's lots of stuff I don't want
Pick
to say
one.
on camera right now.
Like,
because it has
wow.
to do.
Okay, well, pick one that's okay to see on camera, Mark.
So you're gonna think these are crazy things. Like we want to raise urban chickens.
Okay, great. So go. Why don't
It's against the law.
Oh, okay. Well,
It's against the law, and our neighbors would complain about the noise, so we can't.
okay. Well, what's something that's not against the law, Mark? Everything you want to do is illegal.
Yeah, a lot of the
Jesus.
things I want to do on my property, I want to do on my property because there are bylaws that keep me from doing it.
Okay. Well, that's
These aren't even crazy things. Like I want to build a wood a wood fire barbecue, right?
Okay.
When I was growing up, my grandfather had like a fireplace outside.
And what? It's illegal.
It's illegal.
Okay. So what's legal that you want to do?
Nothing. I do everything that's legal.
Oh, so it's just because you want your own private place to do illegal things?
Pretty much. I don't want the man. You're not libertarian, so you don't understand. I don't want the man telling
am
me
I?
that I have to pull. I don't know. That I have to pull building permits to change this, or that I can't do that.
Somebody
Steve,
asked-
you know what I'm talking about, right? Yeah, he grew up outside of the city. He understands.
Somebody asked me if I was a Christian the other
Yeah, I
day
saw
on
that.
Instagram.
It
Good
was a
times.
good response.
What did I say?
What did you say? You
don't
said that
remember.
you don't subscribe to that faith, but that you believe in service and
Yeah.
people were built to serve, and that understanding and blah blah blah.
Oh, wow.
It was good.
Okay. So there's nothing.
That's it.
It's only illegal things. That's all Mark wants to do in his backyard
Well,
by
and
himself.
I want to have like a little, I don't know. I want to allow my Rottweiler to run around without fear of her attacking people. And
So build a fence.
yeah, I know.
What's wrong? Instead
Yeah.
of working on
Like
your
I said,
patio,
I already
go
have
build a
I already
fence.
have all the answers. I already have everything I need. I know that. I want more.
But why? Fix the why.
Fix the why.
Fix
That's
the why.
the answer.
Yes, that's
all of
the
our
answer.
audio listeners, all of our podcast listeners,
Fix the why.
get to the reason why you want it, the things you want, and then somehow fix them.
If the
But that's
why
not going to
is-
help. That's not going to stop you from wanting them still, right? It's just going to help you live with the fact that you don't
No.
need them.
No, shift it. You need to replace it with something. You can't just create a vacuum because then you'll be addicted to something else.
Mm-hmm.
You have to fix it.
Mm-hmm.
The fix is through service. If you stop smoking, you're going to start eating chips.
Mm-hmm.
You got to fix it through service. So instead of being insecure about your neighbors, how can you help your neighbors, or how can you bring more to your community through your property? Church of marketing.
Church of marketing.
Set up the pews in the
Okay,
back.
well, I guess we'll leave it there because we're over time. But
All right.
I don't know if we answered anything.
We did. Go back and listen.
I'm going to have to go back and listen.
Fix the why, move to service, and take immediate action on your ideas because you're a God.
There you go.
If you want to see why I started doing all my meetings outside walking, check the video right there next to us. I think you'll enjoy it. Continue to believe, and we'll see you there.